As tuition continues to rise, some students are left wondering, how am I supposed to pay for this? UNF's Board of Trustees passed a 15% increase last week, which will increase the tuition to $143.45 per credit hour. President John Delaney says he feels the increase was fair for the students. Delaney stands by the increase, citing the national average as a comparison.
What's a fair price for tuition? I mean, what's a reasonable price? And the national average is about $3,000 more than we pay in Florida.
Student body president Matt Brockelman disagreed with the board. He even proposed a 10% increase as a compromise. Brockelman believes the board already decided how they would vote before they entered the room.
For the last month, the administration has been talking to each trustee individually, I'm sure, talking about the budget challenges, talking about why this is needed. And we walk in there and I have an hour before the vote to try to convince them otherwise. So even if we walked in there with the best argument possible, the trustees aren't going to be inclined to change their mind on something they've been talked to for a month just based off of new information an hour before the vote.
According to Delaney, Florida ranks 44th nationally in tuition costs. Delaney also believes that this trend of Florida being well below the national average will continue further down the road.
Tuition could go up in the state of Florida 15% a year for the next 7 years, and you still wouldn't be at the national average.
Brockelman says that the students must pick up the burden for the shortage of money. However, he notes that the art department recently made 42 fees requests at an auxiliary oversight committee meeting. He later found out that the art department never lost the money because of budget cuts, but its money had been diverted to renovate MoCA. Brockelman believes that this is an indication that there are alternatives to raising tuition.
There's, I think, this myth that there's this huge shortage of money, and if we don't get a tuition increase, the university is just going to stop operating, when in fact, the art department example shows perfectly, I think, that the money is still there in one way or another. It's just that instead of scaling things back and maybe controlling the growth a little more, the university just wants to keep expanding and so instead of cutting the money, it diverts it elsewhere, and then it comes to us to fill the hole it left.
At the Board of Trustees meeting, students showed up to voice their concerns about the increase. Some were as drastic as possibly not being able to attend the university next year. Delaney was optimistic that they would be back.
What we've got to hope is that what they'll be able to do is maybe take 1 or 2 classes less and work a few more hours. But there's student loans available out there, and there's work-study programs available on campus. The idea is to focus on quality. Going to college is a sacrifice. It's hard work. It costs money. It means you're not making money in the workforce. It means you may not be playing with friends or going to the beach. But it's a sacrifice, and right now it's a little bit underpriced.
I think the students are in trouble. Students are going to keep paying more and more and more and more as we go along.
For your OTV News, this is Maggie Seppi.